Welcome to the Barstool College Football Show presented by Phillips Norelco. We are back in New York City after a trip to Penn State last week. And Dan, we just got to go right off the top with this. Have you recovered from Wisconsin losing last week?
I recovered a long time ago.
I don't believe that.
No, I'll say it again. Wisconsin breaks my heart every year. This one was special because I didn't see it coming, but the end result, the net result is heartbreak. So once I got over the initial shock, the heartbreak portion, I'm used to it. I live in it.
Question. Wisconsin comes out, upsets Ohio State this week.
Oh,
better or worse than what happens?
Better because, of course I want them to win because then they still control their own destiny. If they beat Ohio State twice.
No, national title they don't.
Yeah, if they beat Ohio State twice, I think they'd have a chance to be in the college football playoff.
Well, you get if Alabama undefeated, Clemson undefeated, Oklahoma undefeated. Who else would be in there? I don't think they get past the one-loss Notre Dame. At Georgia versus.
I don't know.
I think having a Big Ten team in before Notre Dame.
They'd have better wins than Notre Dame.
I don't think so.
They'd have better wins than Notre Dame. If they beat Ohio State twice.
But
definitely.
It's either way, worst loss.
I want them to win. I want them to win. Yeah,
and we'll get to that matchup later. And then, Dave, you're still wearing Michigan inside out, even though they covered last week, huh?
Well, I bet on Penn State last week, so that sucked. Michigan's fucking me in the face consistently. But yeah, no, I'm on the record. Michigan is dead to me till we beat Ohio State.
Beating Notre Dame this weekend does nothing?
I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I don't like cookies. I don't like little gifts. We should be a power program until we beat Ohio State.
Which won't happen in probably the next 10 years.
Then I'll be wearing inside-out Michigan stuff for the rest of my life.
Harbaugh's trying to leave anyway.
That's what I'm about to say. What do you think about Harbaugh trying to leave to the NFL?
It's news to me, fellas.
Well, he did say that.
FootballScoop.com yesterday reported that he is Football Scoop. They're usually pretty good with coaching news.
But Harbaugh did release a statement, which I assume he wrote in Excel because he writes everything in Microsoft Excel. He said that it is a recruiting tactic by his enemies to get them.
What do you need that? Just say when's the last time Michigan won a big game?
He said it was total crap. He also said he doesn't have an agent, which is the biggest lie of all time.
Bullshit.
I mean, how can he not have an agent?
I guess he probably doesn't need one because he probably, what does his agent have to do? He already has a job for life.
Do you want
don't need
him
an
to go to
agent
the NFL?
when you have a job for life.
Do I want him to go to the NFL? What a question.
The answer is yes, right?
No, I think the answer is no until he can beat Ohio State. He will go to the NFL.
I'm choking a little bit. It's making it hard for me to talk.
He will not go to the NFL until he beats Ohio State.
But don't you want to get somebody in there that does beat Ohio State? You don't want to wait on him to do it. I don't know.
Lloyd Carr?
Yeah.
Anybody. You take a shot at somebody.
I'm better now. I don't know. I mean, Michigan has got me all flustered and confused. They're dead to me. I bet against them the last 2 weeks. They've covered both weeks.
I think they might win this weekend.
It won't shock me, I guess.
So this won't be turned inside out until they beat Ohio State?
Correct. A lot of Michigan fans are up my ass right now. They're like, oh, you're a turncoat, you're a traitor, you're not a real Michigan guy. No, I'm the only real Michigan guy. Like if you actually have respect for the program and where we should be, you don't want 3 losses. We are supposed to be competing for national championships, not doing the Lombarda because we beat Notre Dame at home, who you're supposed to be at home.
That's arguably making you a better fan than the other fans.
Because I demand excellence.
Yes, because you're a better fan.
I respect half of you for that, which is more than every other Michigan fan. Because I respect the fact that you will not accept what they are now. The part I don't really understand is saying they should be competing for national championships because that just doesn't happen.
That's because everybody, unlike me, accepts mediocrity.
Okay. I'm just saying they don't compete for national championships.
Any season that you lose to Wisconsin by 30, dead season.
But you saying Michigan should be competing for national championships is no different than me saying Wisconsin should be competing for national championships.
Well,
both are going to
happen.
Michigan
one time in the last 100 years.
Michigan and Wisconsin are not in the same breath in terms of historic, prestigious.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah, but I also know that
in
terms of recent
and that's
history,
fine. Some people may like to be Wisconsin. I do not.
And Mississippi State was number 1.
Excellence.
There you go.
Yeah, not for very long. We'll get to both of those games in a little bit. But before we move on, Dave, have you recovered from all the Penn State fans chirping at you last week? Where do we land on Penn State right now?
Penn State, I don't care about Penn State.
They were so drunk.
The drunkest, most hollow-eyed crowd I've ever seen.
They were absolute
nice
zombies.
campus.
It's like
I like
my
Penn
family
State
reunion.
kids. Gave 20 grand to Thon.
That was really just me wanting to give you an opportunity to say that again.
Yeah, no, I like Penn State. I'm not Michigan. I don't care about getting tripped. Michigan's our own problem. I don't care about anybody else. We're our own problem. Until we look in the mirror and worry about ourselves, we'll never fix it.
I watched back that show. It was the drunkest crowd, but we did lose the crowd when Brandon Walker tried to chant.
Can I start a chant?
Yes.
Can I start a fuck Dean Harden chant?
Yeah, try it.
Can I start a fuck Dean Harden
really
chant?
ring.
Start the fucking chant.
You have to.
I hate every one of you.
We are. He stinks.
A fuck Dean Harden chant has no
It doesn't
rhythm.
It does.
ring.
Fuck Dean Harden.
You missed the moment.
Yeah,
But
was
I mean,
the-
they
you
were
fucking
already
can't
zombie
do that.
drunk,
That was
but
the
like
line.
you can't.
That's a poor
You
idea.
can't do that.
You
That was a
can't
poor
try
idea.
to start a chant and not start it
Brandon
yourself.
Walker sometimes forgets that he was out in the sticks in Mississippi.
No,
like,
I'm
talking
aware
to
of where I
nobody.
was. I'm
Well,
aware of where I was. I
old
enjoyed it.
Brandon Walker won't try to start that chant in a live audience.
Oh, no. Old Brandon Walker's done some stupid shit, too.
Well, I don't doubt that.
He kind of put it on me a little bit, said I didn't help him out, but
No,
I
you
should have,
didn't.
as
None of
my
you helped.
podcast
None of
co-host,
you
I should have helped him out.
You could have helped me. Well, you don't give a fuck. You could have helped me. You could have helped me. Neither one of y'all helped.
Can I say what happened when we got off the plane? He pulled me aside.
Well, I was like, how bad was that?
He was like, "Did that make it seem like I don't belong?"
Yeah, it did. It did.
No, it didn't. I don't like
I said
that.
it didn't. No, I said
He
it
was
was
actually
funny.
rattled.
No, I
don't-
thought it was
funny.
I was rattled, but I'm
Wasn't
fine
funny.
now.
It was a bad moment, but it was a
Right.
funny bad moment.
That's-
Bad moments can happen as long as they're humorous.
Reminded me of Tom Warner. Let's go Red Sox. Let's go Red Sox.
You just can't ask people.
Let's go Red Sox.
And I would just like to start a cheer. Let's go Red Sox! Let's go Red Sox! Let's go Red Sox!
Go Red Sox.
It's asking people if they can do a chant will never work.
Especially when they're as drunk
Just
as they were.
chant.
I guess so. You're right.
And then,
Yeah.
like,
I think you
who
belong.
are
Was a bad crowd, too.
I think you belong.
Thank you very much.
I think you belong to. We're gonna put it in the past. Okay?
It's in the
You
past.
can redeem yourself.
No, we'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
definitely bring it
yeah.
up, but let him, like, we need to get him into the
Yeah,
game
but I don't
mindset right now,
just,
so.
Yeah, just make sure. I want to make it clear. I'm not putting it in the past.
Before
I will
Okay.
make
Oh, I
a
know.
joke about it.
I'm
a
aware
lot.
of it, and she will too. She'll do
Yeah.
it this afternoon on Unnecessary Roughness.
Oh,
I got
for sure.
one question before we get started.
Okay.
So you're making this stand against Michigan, right? Can I
I'm
just-
making a stand for Michigan.
That's fine. You're still, I mean, I know you turn it inside out, so that's your symbolism, but you're still actually wearing Michigan gear.
Well, it's like when
Thanks,
they turn
you
the.
idiot.
I know, but you're still
You
wearing
think I didn't know that?
This is halfway going all the way.
But Brandon, it's
you're
like
halfway doing
when
it.
they turn the American flag
hell?
upside
This
down,
is
it's
Michigan
disrespectful.
gear.
You're halfway doing it.
This is
You're
Michigan.
still wearing Michigan gear. You're
inside
still
out.
showing.
It's inside out. It's
still-
disrespectful.
You said they're dead
I'm
to you.
still
They're
a
not dead to
Michigan
you.
man. I'm trying to bring them back.
But
you
they're not
idiot.
dead to you.
Oh, hey, Brandon, you're wearing a Barstool sports sweatshirt.
Well, I
Do
know
that?
you pay me to wear
Did,
this.
did you know you're wearing that?
I was aware.
Of course I know I'm wearing Michigan. I put it on. Turn it inside out.
But
and
you
wear.
say to everybody out loud, "Oh, they're dead to me. I'll never
Until we
represent them."
beat Ohio.
I'll never represent them. It's Ohio State. I'll never represent them, and you represent them. That's what you're doing.
If you guys lose to Ohio State, you should have to do the show after with a brown bag on your head.
No.
Please?
No.
That was wild of you to do that, Brandon Walker. Why'd you do that?
Huh?
Why'd you
He's
go after him like
watching
that?
a horse
I know
race.
he's watching
He's
horse
gonna
races.
I
I know.
need the 6.
Well, while he's doing
coming
that-
up, I think. No.
Let's get into the Bud Light Weekend preview. The best way to enjoy college football game days are with a refreshing, crisp Bud Light. The first game we're going to talk about is Washington State at number 11, Oregon. Oregon is -14. It's the 10:30 p.m. game. It is in Eugene. What are you guys' thoughts?
Washington State has covered against Oregon 9 straight times.
They've also
What's
won.
that?
They've
What's
also
that,
won
Brandon
4
Walker?
straight times.
They've covered
And won
they've beaten them
outright.
4 straight times. That being said, that's the only information I can give you that makes me think Washington State covers this game or plays it close. I think Oregon wins it. Oregon is just sneaking back into national title contention. They're just plugging right along out there in the Pac-12. Nobody's paying attention to them. They have a good loss in the week 1. I think Oregon wins by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Oregon has a lot to play for because they could potentially still sneak into the college football playoff as the only Pac-12 team, but at the same time, they just can't beat Washington State at this point.
Who does Oregon have next week? Do we know? Look that up, Big F. I think Oregon's going to win this game. The spread makes me a little nervous, but I would definitely lean Oregon just because their defense is for real. And I don't think Washington State can stop anything.
Washington State beating Oregon 4 times in a row seems weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
it's-
Oregon has.
not
That's what
really
I'm
when you
saying,
think
it
about
can't
what
be.
Oregon's been. And
Yeah, but
what
Washington
Mike Leach
State
has
hasn't
done.
been great.
USC on the road.
USC on the road, Oregon does?
Yep.
That's dangerous.
That is dangerous because that was a big emotional win in Washington, comeback win. I still would lean Oregon, and I would also take the over.
And the early line has USC as a 1-point favorite as right now.
That's crazy. Yeah, the total
USC, which beat
64.
Utah at home earlier in the season.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
that was just a classic Pac-12 Friday. Let's just cannibalize ourselves.
Before the season, everyone was talking about Justin Herbert, too. Like, we're not out on him yet, are we? I know you haven't liked him very much.
I've been out on him, but he's quietly getting back into the picture. I mean, he goes to Washington and he plays very well. They win the game, so they're just sitting right there.
Justin Herbert is going to be a combine guy.
Yep.
When he goes to the combine, he will
Measurables.
then go back up the draft board.
I think Oregon wins this game. Washington State now is in this category of teams where, like, when you expect them to play well, they don't, and when you don't expect them to play well, they do. So I think this game is going to be very close. But I think Oregon wins it. But I think 14's way too many. I think it's going to be a close game.
You're like me, Dave. We are both abused victims of the UCLA comeback.
Well, is that?
That one just
Anthony Gordon scored 9 touchdowns and they
totally
still
fucked
lost.
my head up.
It's bad.
Because if they
UCLA
just
kept
complete
losing.
that game and
because
go the
they're
way it
playing
was
well,
going,
right?
it's
They're
a
the team.
Yeah.
So, but I'm telling you, this game's going to be close.
Did you see Mike Leach said he wants to create veils so people can't read his lips anymore because he thinks people are stealing lip reading signs on the sidelines?
Thoughts?
Veils?
You know, what they ought to do is just give these guys mouth covers. I ought to invent this. Instead of like a Zorro mask that covers your eyes, we're going to just have one that covers the mouth. You could have a deal where it kind of attaches on your ears, hangs like right here like a veil. We'd make it a little more studly and masculine because we don't want them to look like a belly dancer per se. Some football veil. We could logo them up a little bit. Favorite cartoon characters. We could even draw a mouth on there. Those that are kind of into fashion, we could have a flesh-colored veil that has lips and teeth on it. They just don't really move. Could stick a logo on there. Oregon, they'd have swooshes on theirs. Maybe we could get some cool cougar teeth, a little bit of nose, some whiskers. I think that'd be a brilliant idea.
He hates Mike Leach.
I don't hate Mike
He
Leach.
wants to
I'm
make
just
veils.
about tired of Mike Leach saying cutesy, funny things.
He
That's
said it's
what
like
I'm
a
tired of.
blindfold, but except like a mask. Or it was
So
a
you
whole
think
thing.
he's become self-aware?
I believe he has. I think he knows his brand. He knows he's expected to say these things, and that's why he says it.
Okay. Listen, I've heard crazier things.
Okay, good.
I don't
Mostly out
understand
of
how you
Mike
don't
Leach's
like
mouth.
Mike Leach.
I like
just
Mike
explained
Leach.
it.
No, I know, but I don't think
like
he
him
even
a
believes
lot.
that.
It was a couple of weeks ago when they lost, and he talked about millennials and being soft and stuff like
that
that.
was the
Yes.
point where I was like, that.
He's coached the same way for 20 years.
Right.
He's always had soft defenses. It has nothing to do with this generation. It's him. It's his brand of football.
Yeah. He just knows if he says it, we'll talk about it. And here we are doing it. So
Yeah.
you're out on Mike Leach. I'm going to take Oregon as well. I just think they're a much better team, and they have something to play for. So let's go to the game I know Dave's going to want to talk about. Number 8, Notre Dame, at number 19, Michigan. Michigan right now is favored by 1. It's a 7:30 game. Jim Harbaugh potentially maybe going to the NFL. We don't know. But I will point out, Dave, this was the game last year. After Notre Dame won, you canceled Michigan's season last year. So do you feel the same way this year?
I didn't cancel it. I
Yes, you
said they
did.
would win out and go to the playoffs.
It's just not true.
I'm going to take the Irish because I will not pick Michigan until we beat Ohio.
State.
I am 0-2 betting against Michigan versus the spread. Last week, particularly tough with the 21-0 lead at Penn State.
Are you surprised they're favored?
No, because they looked pretty good last week.
Mm-hmm.
They actually came back against Penn State and arguably were the better team in that game. So no, I'm not surprised. I mean, Notre Dame was Notre Dame. They got that one road loss that they, are still celebrating. They're putting on statues and touchdown Jesus. We only lost by 3 or 7. Georgia, who doesn't look that good.
Nope.
So no, it doesn't surprise me at all. But Michigan under Jim Harbaugh has not had really a big win since he's been there. So I don't know what makes people think that's going to change.
Yeah, I want to take Notre Dame, but the line makes no sense. Michigan their offense finally came alive against Penn State.
Hey, what happened to Shea Patterson in the second half?
They just,
I don't
I
understand.
knew it was going to happen eventually because Michigan has switched to a full spread and they have Josh Gaddis, who never called a play in his life until he came to Michigan. It was not eventually it was going to start clicking. It just happened to click at halftime and they ran out of time because they did play better than Penn State for 3/4 of that game. They just were in such a big hole. So I think I'd take Michigan here.
The thing is, we got 2 losses, all right? We lost by 100 to Wisconsin. We lost at Penn State at night, whiteout, fine. We haven't beaten anybody with double overtime versus Army. I mean, Michigan hasn't beaten anybody in like 10 years.
No, you haven't. But this is a prime opportunity. Notre Dame isn't that good. Did we learn more about Penn State or Michigan last Saturday night? That's
Don't
my
know.
question.
Because who knows what Penn State
Right.
is?
Is Penn State not as good as we thought they were? That's what I lean to because I've seen Michigan multiple times. I've seen Michigan not beat Army by very much. I've seen Michigan struggle on the road at Illinois. I've seen all these things, but Notre Dame.
You didn't mention Wisconsin. We saw them get their absolute teeth kicked in by Wisconsin.
The line is just it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. I'm picking Notre Dame, but I really just want to stay
The
away.
line makes sense because if you watch the end of that Penn State game, Michigan looked good.
I don't know. I
I
feel
just
like.
made it make sense.
So are you going to take Michigan?
Oh, I
Totally
already
makes
said
sense.
I'm taking the
No.
Irish.
Okay. I'm going to take Michigan as well, but speaking of Penn State, we're going to see what they have against Michigan State this weekend. Number 6 Penn State at Michigan State. Penn State is favored by 6.5. Michigan State 3 straight games against top 10 teams. I don't really know why this line isn't a little bit bigger.
No, well, it's a phenomenal letdown spot. They had the whiteout last week.
Whoa, look at you! You're finally learning. You're just stealing everything I say before I can say it, but look at you.
They had a big word, too.
Look
Phenomenal.
at you.
Thank you very much. They had the phenomenal
very proud of
letdown
that.
spot. So they had Penn State, they had Michigan coming in, they had the whiteout, they had everything, and now they go to Michigan State. Michigan State, good defense, hasn't played very well this year, but they're just laying.
That's an understatement.
They're laying and waiting though. This is their opportunity.
Yeah, no, I mean, you were basically just watched me for the last 7 weeks, and you're like, I'm going to start taking everything
I also
you say.
know college football.
I taught you letdown spot.
It's a phenomenal letdown spot.
I taught you letdown spot, and Michigan State's off a bye. You want to mention that?
I like Michigan State plus 6.5.
I do too, because there's a physical toll that happens somewhere around late October, and you saw Penn State play a late game, fade at the end. Their defense looked like they were out of gas at the end, and I think Michigan State's rested. They just got the shit kicked out of them by Wisconsin 2 weeks ago. No one's expecting them to do anything. Michigan State plus 6.5. This is going to be a gross game.
Dan, do you
They
think
can
there's
ugly it
anything
up.
to, and I keep bringing this up because I just love it, you said James Franklin's on a fuck you tour. That didn't happen last week, so you don't think that comes
Well,
into
because
play?
he doesn't have the horses that I thought he
Yeah.
had. The fuck you tour works when you have the guys that can put it away. They didn't have the guys that can put it away.
Michigan State stinks, though. Their offense.
They're so
stinks.
bad.
They're so bad.
They're so bad, Dave.
So
but,
bad.
But this is the type of game you have to hold your nose and take Michigan State and just know that it's
Yeah,
going to get ugly.
they really, really stink. So it's tough to take.
And it's an
Michigan
afternoon
State.
game, too.
Everything
It's not
you're
at
saying,
night.
Michigan State, by the way, that crowd, they won't be very loud. They never are. I don't know. I agree with everything you said. Let down, but my God, Michigan State's bad.
They are, but Penn State went to Iowa last weekend, and Iowa's better than Michigan State.
I don't know if they are. There's so many bad offenses in the Iowa's
Bad
offense is
offense, right.
fucking
Bad offense.
horrific.
Iowa is what
But
Michigan
Michigan
State is.
State's
Good
offense is
defense,
horrible.
bad offense, and Penn State was lucky to get out of there. I don't think you can tempt fate very often. I think plus 6.5 is a good
You
number
think
for
Michigan State's as good as Iowa?
I think they're the same kind of team.
Oh,
I don't know if
think
they're
they
as
are.
good.
I think they're equally, like, they're almost mirror images from what I've seen. I'll go with the points here, but betting on Michigan State, I've done it a couple times, and it's no walk in the park because they stink.
Oh, it's not fun.
No, it's not going to be fun. It's going to be a hold your nose pick. But
Overcast for sure.
You just brought up Iowa. Penn State goes to Iowa, has to play Michigan late. Those are two physical games. And Michigan State's off of a bye. So I think you just have to take the points there. Don't even watch the game.
What do
Just
you think
hope
about the
that
total? 43.5.
I wouldn't touch it, but it would definitely be under, but I wouldn't touch it because a total that small in college football can be
tough.
screwed up by one college football
Tough.
play.
I'm going to take Penn State. I think Michigan State is absolutely awful, and I think James Franklin is going to want them to bounce back to see if they're maybe a legit college football playoff contender. We're going to get to the other games in just a second, but right now we're going to go out to concussion protocol. Caleb is in Gainesville to talk to an 8th-year senior about potentially graduating.
He's an absolute killer. He's a slayer. He's everything.
Super duper senior, old as fuck, probably a virgin. You know, but it be like that sometimes.
Jeffrey Netgate will be playing at Simon's nightclub until he's 45 fucking years old.
It's an honor for me to get to meet this fella. If you've ever heard of Van Wilder, he spent 7 years in college. This is the real life Van Wilder. Y'all get up for your 8th-year senior at University of Florida, Mr. DJ Netgate. This man has said the Avengers was out when you were a freshman. I don't know what you're doing with your life, but it's the most impressive shit I've ever seen, Mr. Netgate.
The year is 2012. 50 Shades of Grey is the #1 novel. The Avengers is the #1 movie. People in the streets are either dancing Gangnam Style or screaming YOLO. This is the year that Jeffrey Netgate started college. It's true that Netgate has seen a lot transpire during his tenure at the University of Florida. As just a freshman, he witnessed a Coney 2012-inspired campus revolt.
Yeah, for 1 month we were pissed, but then after that 1 month, it's like it didn't even happen.
In his sophomore year, Netgate witnessed the invention of the social media app Vine. His junior year, Netgate was one of many to joke about his nutsack.
Cause some came in the mail today. These nuts. Got him!
Got him!
His senior year, he watched the world quarrel over the color of the dress.
Most people in Gainesville agreed that it was gold and silver. The blue and black was for the fucking weirdos.
Perhaps derailed by the controversy, in 2016, Netgate was forced to enter his 5th year of college, where he was further distracted by an onslaught of girls in chokers. His 6th year, it was Bitcoin. His 7th, eating Tide Pods. And this year, the year of our Lord 2019, Netgate has entered his 8th year of college, and he is attempting to do the improbable. He is attempting to graduate.
Why is he taking so long to finish college?
Jeff's a learner. He steps the equation. He understands that if the only way I'm going to be better if I learn more. And he always wants to experience different things. He always wants to pick up different minors.
Do you think he's too old to pick up minors?
Tony wasn't talking about 17-year-old girls. He was talking about school. Yet still, Netgate's age is a mystery.
Have you ever heard him tell his age?
No, I've never heard him say it. I thought it was around like probably upper 25s. That's what I guessed when I first got here.
And then how long ago was that?
That was 3 years ago.
Netgate hadn't told anyone his age, which made me suspicious. And I'm not even a suspicious guy.
How old are you?
I am 24.
That's not true. How old are you for real?
$26.
Is that true? Yeah. Do you regret lying to me?
Do I regret lying to the other 100 girls that I told that to?
By the way he said it, I don't think he did. The only thing I know is if you're the type of guy who likes to lie to girls, there's one opportunity that towers above the rest.
How many spring breaks has he been on?
Spring break is probably our country's greatest pastime. And as an 8th year senior, Jeff Netgate has experienced more than one.
How many spring breaks? I mean, probably 6 or 7 spring breaks. I mean, knowing Netgate, he probably started in high school, so this may be his 10th year doing spring break, you know what I'm saying?
While fun to think about, 10 spring breaks is a little far-fetched. According to Netgate, the number is actually much lower.
I've been on the last 7, and then high school I went on 2, so I'd say 9.
9. And what did he learn in all those years in the Mexican water?
I do not want a daughter. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
While Netgate was first to go south of the border, his grades weren't far behind, if you know what I'm saying.
How many classes do you think he's really failed?
Maybe 7.
I mean, if we were, we love to gamble. So if you like to gamble, over under 6, you know, in a year.
And what would you take?
I'd take the over. Yeah.
Does this guy go to class?
Now and again.
He doesn't go to class, does he?
Yeah, there was, he had like a 50% attendance rate, I'd say. So like solid enough. Enough to get 50% attendance in a class, you know?
What do you think was the first moment he realized, you know, hey, I'm not good at school, but I can trick people into thinking I have a job?
I would say the first time he DJ'd.
Yeah.
Here we go. I need everyone to do this shit with me right now. Here we go. Y'all know, hands up.
Shockingly to no one, 26-year-old Jeffrey Netgate is also the most popular DJ at the University of Florida. But is his rise to music stardom sustainable?
Do you know what you want to do out of college?
I mean, I'm DJing right now, and that's what's paying the bill. That's what I'm doing. I mean, why stop now?
Let me stop you right there. Is it paying the bills?
When he looks forward into the future, Netgate sees sold-out arenas and topless fans jiggling their titties. If that day comes, and he does leave Florida behind, how will he tell the story?
When he looks back at his time here, what do you think he'll say? How do you think he'll sum it up?
It was the best years of his life. He got a ton of pussy. It was the most amazing time of his life. Nothing will ever top this. Maybe even having a child won't even touch us.
Is there a chance in hell that he hasn't peaked yet?
He's peaked.
He's peaked. Would you tell him that to his face?
I tell him all the time.
There's no doubt that despite his critics, Netgate has marched forward. But as the late Nelson Mandela once said, bravery isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it.
What's your biggest fear?
Graduating. That's definitely my biggest fear.
Why?
Because then all this is gone. This is all gone for me. The beautiful courtyards, the women, the fun.
But
there's no fun in the real world.
But how do you know that?
Because I've tried to venture off there.
He wasn't lying. Believe it or not, every single year from the months of June to August, Netgate removes himself from campus completely for a sabbatical.
Taking the summer off is like my trial period with the real world.
And you don't like how that goes?
I never purchased the full subscription.
Jeffrey Netgate has had one hell of a run. But, like us all, eventually he will forget to delete his trial account and be charged the full price of moving on into the real world.
When people think about his legacy, what will they say when it's all said and done?
His legacy, when he's all said and done, I think he's just going to be like, you know, DJ Netgate, he was here for a while and he had a good time, and we all had a good time with him.
I think it's actually impressive that he was able to stay in college for 8 years and his parents just keep funding it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know how much money that kid has, but that's, hey, if you can do it.
Is that his real last name, Netgate?
Yeah.
DJ Netgate.
Yeah.
Sweet last name.
It is a sweet last name. You'd think he's like a hacker or something.
Yeah.
Like someone should hire, Apple should hire him.
Netgate.
Yeah.
You're the gatekeeper of the net.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, does it make you miss college? You looked, when you were watching it, you had like this longing look in your eyes.
I would imagine Brandon's college experience is a little different.
A lot different.
Yeah.
I thought you told me you got a lot of girls in college.
I did okay. I did okay. I don't know what DJ Netgate's working with, but I don't know. That just came across as a little
You've never
sad
told them that? You just told me that?
We've never had that conversation.
What
We've had it
was
on
your number?
On our college football podcast. What's double digits?
Ooh. B-Walk.
BMOC.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a small campus.
And you were able to dunk.
I could. I could dunk basketball.
Yes. Yeah, right there.
It was fantastic.
Did you sit?
I missed that much more than going to college.
Did you sit Indian style on the grass and stare at co-eds back then too?
All the time.
Nice.
That was one of my go-to moves.
Bro.
You can get attention so easily just by sitting in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and having a haircut like you do.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to the Bud Light weekend preview. Let's get into number 13, Wisconsin, at number 3, Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 14. The total is 50, and I know we were really looking forward to this stand before last week. We've already talked about how you are over the Illinois loss, but is there any hope in your mind that they could bounce back and beat Ohio State?
Beat? Probably not. I think they'll cover, though. I think they'll be very competitive. Yeah, I think they'll be very competitive. I think it'll be like a 7 to 10 range, so 14 is a lot of points for that. I don't think they can beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State's, I don't know if I sat here right now, I'd probably put them 2 or 3 in the country. I can't remember what I put my top 10, so that's going to suck if I don't have them 2 or 3.
It's
but I think they're
probably
2 or
around
3 in the country.
Yeah, I think they're not only 2 or 3 in the country, they probably looked better than anybody else in the country. They just haven't had the opportunity to beat a top team. This is Ohio State's opportunity now to really prove it. We've seen it. We've seen them beat the shit out of everybody they played. We've seen how impressive they look. Now they get to play a top 15 team and do it. I think they'll run Wisconsin out of the building.
I think they're going to kill them, but I don't know that proves anything. I mean, Wisconsin let down the Big Ten big time with that loss because if Ohio State beats Wisconsin, kills them, no one's going to care.
It proves more than they've been able to prove so far.
Not really.
Well,
it's the best team they've played.
But everybody they've beaten, they've kicked the shit out of. It's not like they're just barely beating these teams.
Right, exactly.
So what do you think? You think how many points they're going to win by?
I think they win somewhere in the 42 to 14 range.
Woo!
I think Ohio State kills them because I think Ohio State's the best team in the country. But no one's going to wake up and say, "Oh, they proved it versus Wisconsin," because they're just going to be like, "Well, Wisconsin's
no." They'd beat 42-14.
Yeah, they kill
There's no way they're
Wisconsin,
going to
yes.
beat them 42-14.
No.
I mean, there was no way Illinois was going to beat Wisconsin either.
That's a fair point. I'd say that's far more unlikely, that scenario.
Things happen.
Big Ed, what do you think?
That's why they play a game. World's greatest reality show.
Dan said he's over the loss. I'm not over it because this fucks us.
It does.
Because the narrative all year long is that we haven't beaten anyone. This was finally going to be the game that we beat a good team, and now when we slaughter them, they're going to say, oh, they lost to Illinois. Not a big win.
But it really doesn't matter, Big F. Like, if you guys go undefeated, you're in the playoff.
Oh, no, for sure. No, absolutely. But
it matters for everybody if it matters for the Big Ten if they're trying to go one-loss team in. Then the Wisconsin loss hurts.
Now, I think it makes it even more important for us to just curb stomp them. Just to continue just beating the shit out of every team we play. It doesn't matter who we put in front of us. We just beat the living shit.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, now listening to all this, though.
That's not going to happen.
Listening to all this, I'm thinking, boy, we're awful dismissive of Wisconsin's
Correct.
chances.
That's not going to happen. It's not that they're going to beat them, but there's no way they're going to win by 30 points.
Well, like he said, we think
I think
the 30-point favorite
Okay.
Illinois.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Is there going to be any bet between the two of you, or just because
the line's too big to make a bet?
Yeah.
It's like
you could use the line.
If Ohio State wins by 10, it's like okay, great.
I mean, if your teams are playing, you need to make a bet.
If I'm going to bet it
on the line,
if I'm going to bet it, I'm going to just bet it with my own points bet.
If two teams on the show are playing, you guys need to make a bet.
That was a good save, Dan. That was a good save. So
bet it with points bet.
So nothing with you and Big Emma.
For people who don't understand what's going on right now, Grumpy Dave has joined the chat because he just lost in Keeneland and he's watching himself lose and then he's going to take it out on everyone else on this side.
Is that why you just made that sound?
I was mimicking him. He saved himself.
A gambler to a gambler, you can't hide your mood. Okay? Okay.
It changed just while we were watching Concussion Protocol. It's just all of a sudden he's in a bad mood now.
I know that because
that's
guess
good.
what? I'm
We have a
looking in the
long time on
mirror.
the show.
When I lose, I'm bad to be around.
I'm in a great mood.
So you're going to be good to be around?
I'm in a great mood.
Seems like it. So no bet between the two of you at all.
I'm saying I would do it on the number if you wanted.
It's unbelievable.
All right, we'll think of something.
What do you mean on the number?
I'm saying like on four, like not
On the spread.
obviously straight, like 14.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Ohio State's the best team in the country, but I do think it's too big of a line. I'm going to take Wisconsin and the points. Let's go to the number one game of
Do you
the
think
week.
Ohio State's better than Clemson and Alabama too?
Yeah, Clemson almost lost to North Carolina, and Alabama's defense has kind of looked a little bit shaky.
Okay.
Ohio State's killed everybody so far.
What about LSU, though?
I haven't played anybody, but I agree. I mean, I bet on them. I have them at 7-1.
That was 8-1.
No, I got them at 7 points bet.
I had him at 6 points.
Points bet also thinks they're the best team in the country because their odds were lower than everybody else, but was a points bet guy.
It is what it is. Let's talk about number 9, Auburn, at number 2, LSU. LSU is favored by 10.5. It's the 3:30 game in Baton Rouge. Brandon, I know you're a big Auburn hater. So
I'm not an Auburn hater
Well, they're
at
back
all.
in the top 10, so.
Not an Auburn hater at all.
That's tough because you said they were frauds.
Yeah,
They
you
are
said that they
frauds,
shouldn't
and
be
they
in the
were.
top 10.
They lost on the road
No.
to Florida.
And
That's
they're
not
about
a
to lose
fraud.
on the road
A fraud
to
that
LSU.
does not make.
Well,
A fraud that
that's
doesn't
not-
make.
That's not great. I mean, they're
They're an
double-digit
8-4
underdogs.
team. They're an 8-4 team. That's what they are. They're going to lose 4 games. They are a fraud as a top 10 team. It took too long to talk about the best conference in the country, but thank you for setting this up.
Well,
LSU,
there's not very many good
LSU
games this
slash
weekend.
Ohio State.
I mean-
You, just because you're the
Right,
doormat
right.
of this conference.
You
trying to
stink.
take
You're
credit
never
for
gonna
it.
win one of the
Honestly,
doormats.
you can't
We're
say
not a high
that.
school team
You
could win
can't
the
say
SEC.
that.
It'd be no different.
You
We're not
can't
the
say
doormat.
that.
I can say whatever I want, Kayce.
I mean, Mississippi State stinks.
We were number 1 in the country just a
One
couple
time
of
with
years
Dak
ago.
Prescott,
5 weeks.
2014.
5 best weeks of my life. Auburn is not good
I'd
enough.
be like a Rutgers fan being like, go
Oh,
Ohio
yeah, we're in
State.
the Big Ten. Best conference. Big
Jesus
Ten. Change Big
Christ.
10.
We were number 1.
You get pissed on left and right.
Went to the
You
Orange
got
Bowl.
beat by Tennessee.
You're literally a toilet bowl
Don't
for the
remember that.
SEC.
Auburn has a freshman quarterback. He's not walking into Baton Rouge and winning. LSU in the points. Easiest bet of the week.
Joe
Of
Burrow
the
looks
week?
pretty damn good.
Of the week.
You want to do it?
Oh.
No, I don't want to do anything. What? I don't
Are you
even
gonna
know
say
what
the G
that
word?
is.
The G
no,
word.
I'm not doing that.
Do the G word.
Do the G word.
I'm saving the G word for another game later in the
You're
season.
a pussy.
I'm not a
You
pussy.
haven't done a G word since week 1.
That was aggressive.
Yeah, no, he
I'm
hasn't done a G
saving
word
it.
since week 1.
I'm saving my G word for a game that's coming up later.
You really think this is the easiest bet of the weekend?
Absolutely. We'll do our locks in a minute. Spoiler alert, my lock is LSU minus 10.5.
So
It's
you
all-
know
Way to
G word.
tease it. Way to tease it.
Auburn,
way to tease
Auburn
it.
has no offense. Boobie Whitlow, their best running back, is out. Bo Nix stinks. Their offensive line is not
See, I
good.
don't like when you do the whole, like, I'm an SEC fan, I can name random players.
That's not a random player.
Friday Night Lights.
That's not a random player. Boobie Whitlow is his name. That's Auburn's running back.
And
He is
then you
out.
trick people into thinking that you know what you're talking about.
Auburn's defense, very overrated. LSU is a better
Why
team
are
than
you saying
Auburn.
they're overrated?
People act like they're one of the best defenses in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
They rank 6 or 7 in every major defensive category in the league. They're a middle of the pack SEC defense. LSU minus 10.5. Hammer it.
Okay, well, you're an idiot, but I like LSU too.
Yeah.
Was I right on Florida Auburn when you guys all called me idiots?
I also
You
have
guys
Florida
all
Auburn.
called me
You
idiots.
are such-
He called me an idiot. She called me an idiot.
I don't think I called
Was
you
I
an
right?
idiot.
That Florida Auburn game was a little misleading. A couple plays here and there.
Not to mention, he
I don't
pretends
think I
like he
called you
invented
about
that
that.
pick. I also loved Florida all week.
I
How about the-
invented
how
that
about me
pick.
telling you Kansas
He
last
also-
week?
he
What
also-
happened there?
He also is like LSU is better than Auburn. Well, yeah, they're a double-digit like favorite.
LSU's much better. They're more than 10 and a half point
So
favorites.
what's the alternative line? Bet the alternative line. What should this line be in your mind?
17.
17 and a half. Would you bet it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking Auburn. I'm taking the points.
Well, Brandon also thinks Joe Burrow should win the Heisman right now, so he's that high.
He is the guy
I know,
right
I know
now.
he is.
Right
and Joe
now.
Burrow looks unbelievable.
If it
There's
were
no
given out
question,
today,
but-
it would be Joe Burrow. But it's going to be decided.
Yes.
Of
Today?
course.
He's the favorite.
He's been the favorite right
Jalen Hurts plays cheerleaders every
You
week.
just,
Nice.
that's offensive.
Thanks. No, it's not.
Well,
they're athletic cheerleaders.
There's male and female cheerleaders.
That's
How's that
true.
offensive?
That's true.
I just like to get him
Joe
riled up about
Burrow
Jalen Hurts.
is the Heisman Trophy winner after 8 weeks.
I think so.
Yeah.
But he's going to play Tua in a showdown. The winner of that game is going to be the front runner. And then
Agreed.
Jalen Hurts will have some opportunity with big games. And then Justin Fields is kind of laying in the weeds. He's got some big opportunity too.
Yeah, I think you're an idiot too, but I agree with you. LSU is going to win this game and win it pretty
Can
big.
I ask a question? Why is everybody calling me an idiot if you all agree with me?
Well, other things.
I didn't call you an idiot, but I took Auburn.
You've called him an idiot before, though.
Well,
he called me an idiot 20 minutes ago. But this is
I just
unrelated to that.
I called you an idiot when you asked me if I knew I was wearing Michigan gear. I think that's a fair time to call
I'm calling you an
somebody
idiot because I don't think you can call a team a fraud when they go on the road and lose as underdogs.
And then they're back in the top 10.
They're an absolute fraud as a top 10 team. They're an 8-4 team.
So
They're
who
going
would you
8-4
put in
this
ahead of
season.
them?
Huh?
Who would be ahead of them right now in the top 10?
Well, you'll get to my top 10 in just a second.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, all right, good spoiler.
They're not in there.
All right, Brandon, time for One Blade Trivia. One Blade is the one tool that will let you trim, edge, and shave any length of facial hair with a single pass. It's easy to use and it's versatile. One Blade does it all. Take it away, idiot.
All right, last week's question was won by Pope 4 Nation for Life from Minnesota. Last week's question, which current NFL pass rusher holds a career record for forced fumbles in the NCAA? The answer was 16 is Khalil Mack from Buffalo. You guys remember watching him at Buffalo? He was incredible. This week's question. Number one and number two have played 13 times in the regular season since 1970. Number one and number two have played 13 times in the regular season since 1970. Which team has been in the most matchups?
Oklahoma.
Alabama.
Well, time for another One Blade Trivia question.
Oh, is that the answer?
All right.
Can you think of one off the top of your
I
head?
nailed it, didn't I?
Yeah.
You did.
Damn.
That's what are we doing here?
Go, do another one.
I didn't have another
You
one
have
ready.
other ones in your head.
Maybe,
Text your buddy.
Maybe play it off like I didn't nail it instead of like
Well,
your
it had-
poker
But
face
it was so
really
impressive.
falling.
Yeah, I've got to give you credit. It was kind of impressive the way you got it.
Go ahead, give us another one.
3 teams have
See,
been.
I knew he had another one in him.
This is what he does for fun.
Yeah.
3 teams have been in at least 3 of those matchups. Name those 3 teams.
Notre Dame. That was right. That was right.
Nebraska.
USC.
Miami.
Why are you guys doing this?
USC, Notre Dame, Miami.
Why are you guys doing this?
That was all right.
Florida.
Okay,
No,
so
those are the 3. Those are definitely the 3. You can see it on his face.
go for another one.
You
Third
can
time's
see
a
it on
charm.
his face.
Third time's a
Notre
charm.
Dame, USC, Miami. That was definitely the 3.
Third time's a charm.
Come on, here we go, Brandon.
We won't answer this
Here
one
we go,
out loud.
Brandon. Here we go.
Which team won the last 1 versus 2 matchup in college football in the regular season?
Oh, I know that answer. I won't say it out loud.
Alabama. No.
No.
Ooh, okay.
It
We
was
won't guess
Alabama,
anymore.
LSU.
I think it was Ohio State.
But that is One Blade Trivia. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. You can
I
get. You
can't
can win
remember last
merch.
time there was a 1-2. I'm going all the way back to the Mike Hart game.
You can win gear. That's not correct.
Oh.
No.
Stupid.
I think
ass.
it's.
LSU, Alabama was a 1 versus 2.
Was it Auburn, Mississippi State?
No, that was 1. That was 2
One.
versus 3.
Oh, that was
Alabama,
2-3.
LSU was 1 versus 2.
Correct.
So LSU won the game that.
Dave, what the fuck, man? This is my one segment every week. This is my one segment every week. I'll have another trivia question by the end of the show.
Okay.
Well, is that counting playoffs?
No, regular season.
Regular season only.
All right, we'll get another hashtag One Blade Trivia question from Brandon in just a little bit. That was tough.
Maybe make it harder. I mean, it shouldn't be something we can just nail.
I don't think we
It
should
has
say
to
it
be
out
a
loud.
little. It can't be too hard.
So what is the answer for the last time the 1 versus 2 won?
I don't
It was
know.
LSU.
Yeah, LSU, Alabama. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. Here's the final question for today. Okay?
Oh, here we are.
Final
Again,
question.
one more. I just want to go backwards in time when he said I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, he's
So
just
we're on,
rattling them
7
off.
questions. Go to another one.
I didn't have another
You
one
have
ready.
other ones in your head.
The top 2 receptions leaders in NCAA history both played for the same non-Power 5 school. Who is it?
Okay, before I let anybody else just ruin
Hashtag One
Brandon.
Blade Trivia.
Hashtag.
No.
Hashtag One Blade Trivia. You get a Phillips Zorelko One Blade, and you get Barstool merch. I'm not going to let this keep happening because it's really painful to watch. So, Big Eb, take it away with your viral moments.
All right, viral moment number 1 of the week. Heisman Trophy favorite right now, Joe Burrow, got his pasty white butt cheeks exposed trying to evade a sack this weekend.
Take the sack. Yes. Yeah, because if you run forward, you're going to be really embarrassed.
Oh. Chauncey Rivers, Mississippi State.
I mean, the fact that he was trying to hold his pants up instead of worry about the football is, I mean.
Well, he's also winning by 30
That was
points.
good multitask.
Yeah.
He had good security in one arm,
Yeah.
trying to pull the pants up with the other.
Louisiana newspaper is suing CBS for an apology.
I love that, and it's
I don't know
not.
if suing is the
But
right
it's
word.
not the. It's not because.
What, for showing his ass?
No,
replays.
no. It's
And-
not because of the nudity. It's because they think they embarrassed Joe Burrow, which is so college football south.
Embarrassed him because his ass was showing?
Correct.
And they said
his
they
ass
wouldn't
was
have
showing.
done it.
We
if
didn't
it was
know
a
he had an
female.
ass
Yeah, nobody knew that.
until they
They
showed
said
it.
they wouldn't have done it if it was a female.
Ball security.
That doesn't make sense. It was an ass.
Ball security.
was
He held his
very-
pants up so his balls didn't come out. And he
No,
held
not
on
really.
to
The
the football.
ball.
Held on to the football.
But the balls are
Ball
in front.
security.
Where
How
are your
long have you been
balls?
sitting on that?
Where are your balls?
Huh? My
placed?
balls?
In the
Forever.
back?
No.
Okay. Dave just lost again.
Dave's losing. We're talking about Brandon Walker's balls. This show's completely off the rails.
Dave just lost another bet.
Big Eb. Moment number 2, please.
All right, number 2. Before the Coastal Carolina Georgia Southern game, the entire team set a dance-off that resulted in every single player on each team getting a penalty and 6 ejections.
What?
My only thought was, for the ejections, were they the worst dancers or the best?
Ooh, good question.
Are they people in the front, maybe?
Every single player on both teams, every
These
single
refs
one
just
penalty.
love throwing
I hate
flags
that
right
shit
there.
so much. I hate that they do that.
I don't know how you can inject people for dancing like that.
Oh, you can do it.
Well, then inject everybody, Brandon.
It's footloose.
Those are great uniforms, too. I love Georgia Southern's uniforms.
Yeah.
Moment number 3, F.
All right, third to last one. This is a tearjerker. So
I like how, Ev, you went into your, like, serious voice there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you read this,
till you
it's
got-
sad.
So,
Well, but
That
you went
was
serious.
you went Tom Rinaldi on us.
Yeah, he
time.
did.
a 4-time cancer survivor,
It's like his telephone voice, but his sad voice.
Kayce O'Brien from Minnesota made his debut and just shared a beautiful moment with Coach Fleck on the sideline. Shout out to Rico Bosco. Some things are bigger than sports. Just beautiful moment.
Did something happen with Rico today? Why is everybody mad at him?
I'm not mad at him.
Oh, I thought everybody
Well,
in the
maybe
office was.
because he's on his way to a 50 burger.
Yeah, and he and Blackjack are gonna have a fist fight eventually.
Oh, that makes sense. I said his name out loud, and Blackjack turned around and asked me why the fuck I was talking about him.
Yeah.
Makes a little bit more sense. All right, Big Ed, tell us a little bit more about Phillips Norelco.
All right, well, Phillips Norelco Game Face Challenge, hashtag Game Face Challenge. Shave your team's logo into your head, chest hair, body, whatever you got, send it to us, hashtag Game Face Challenge, and we will put it on the show.
All right, we're going to move to the PointsBet locks of the week, and we're going to talk about Wisconsin and Ohio State. So we have a new thing going on this week. Deposit $50 and get $100 in bonus bets if Wisconsin covers this weekend, or get $200 in bonus bets if Wisconsin beats Ohio State outright. Dan, how do you feel about that?
I think they're gonna cover. So I don't think they're gonna win, but 14 points is a lot. Wisconsin's not gonna get blown out.
Blowout.
I'm not saying points bet is cheap, but it seems like maybe you get more than $200 if Wisconsin beats them straight up.
Well, you can also, when you deposit, if you believe in that, put it on there.
And Dave, you got another win last week. You're now 2-8.
That a boy.
So we're
You had a 1-1.
Oh, who'd I have?
Hawaii.
You had Hawaii.
They lost. They got killed.
I forget the other one I checked.
And Wake
It didn't
Forest.
win, though.
Wake Forest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won.
So you're crawling back.
Yeah, well, I got Northwestern, who has sent me on this terrible college gambling streak when I mortal locked them the first week of the season. They had the game won, fumble, sack in the end zone, end the game. I'm back on them, plus 10.5 at home versus Iowa. Iowa stinks. I watched that team stinks.
They can't score at all.
They may not be able to score more than 10 points. Northwestern's defense, not horrible. I'll take Northwestern the points.
Dan?
All right. I forgot you can do multiple mortal locks on this show.
Yeah, I mean, Ev is 11 and 11.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Memphis minus 10.5. Memphis is a good team. Tulsa is not a good team. Texas minus 1, same deal. And then South Carolina minus 4 at Tennessee.
So that's 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brandon?
All right, I don't have to resort to those gimmicks because I've got a healthy lead.
What happened with Kansas last week when I said in your face that was a terrible pick?
I've got a healthy lead.
You also
I'm 8-3.
you keep saying that. I have the same amount of losses as you. I've just not bet multiple games.
Oh,
that matters.
That's not really a good brag there.
Because he doesn't have the balls.
You bet much fewer games, but you have the same amount of
I'm
time.
sticking on the points bet.
Yeah, but
I'm sticking on the points bet thing. You're supposed to do 1, so I'm sticking on that, and
That's
I'm 5 and 3,
fair,
and you're 8 and 3.
That's a fair
That's what
thing.
I'm doing
Thank
this
you.
week, and I've already given it away. But LSU minus 10.5 against Auburn. That's the stone cold lock of the week.
Okay. Are you going to admit that I'm playing by the rules and that you keep bragging about something that's not legit?
Oh, it is legit.
I know, but I'm playing by the rules, and I have the same amount of losses as you.
Who said those are the rules?
Yeah, the
Points
rules
bet.
have
You
been whatever.
can only bet on one of our picks for a while.
Every single person here has bet multiple. You're the only one that hasn't been bold enough
I
to
know
do
because
it.
the points bet thing for the week was you could bet on one game that we have, so I've just stuck with one game because I listen to the advertiser.
You've bet the second most amount of locks.
That is
True.
accurate, yes.
You don't have the balls to make 10 locks.
the 10 lock game.
Put your balls on the table. Make a run at it.
I don't want to talk about Brandon's balls anymore.
Oh, those are my balls? I thought you were talking about Kayce's balls.
No, yours.
Oh, no.
Make 10.
No, LSU minus 10.5. That's my pick for this week. I've got a comfortable lead. Why would I resort to gimmicks?
I'm going to put a 1 billion unit play last week of the season, and I'm going to blow everyone out of the water.
Looking forward to that. Big Ev, what's your points bet lock of the week?
Mine is Temple plus 11 at home.
Add that to mine too.
So Big Cat has points.
That's not. Gonna take everybody else's. And
No, I
He's
like
trying to
that
make up
from
some
the.
ground,
I
yeah.
like that from the Pick'em podcast.
I mean, they've just been.
But
podcast.
I liked it too.
They've been great as a home dog all year. They beat Memphis last time they came. They were dogs. Go back to the well.
I'm going 4-0. I'm going to get back to 7-7.
Give me Ohio State too.
Okay. See, this is why I'm sticking to
like
one.
an auction.
I stick
You're
for
just
one.
throwing shit out there. I like that.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm taking TCU in Kentucky.
Okay. There you go, Davey. Let's party. Let's party.
my
Bet as
three
many,
from
many picks as we
Oh,
can.
that's my 3 from the Pick'em show.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm not a big fan of what I'm about to do, but I'm going to take A&M minus 10.5 only
Ooh,
because
I like that,
it's
though.
going against my battered Aggie syndrome, but I can't fathom giving Brandon any leeway at all about this. They're playing Mississippi State in College Station at noon.
Yeah.
Well, 11 a.m. in College Station.
I like that bet, Kayce, because I have sensed the wind
Put
down in
that fucking thing
Mississippi. They lose Dan Mullen. Their number 1 fan, Stingray,
He's not. No. Don't.
stops watching college football.
Yeah.
Their number 2 fan moves to New York City, to New Jersey, and abandons the state. They're in disarray.
And Joe Moorhead may be going to Rutgers.
Oh! And they're not Rutgers. He's taking a step up and going to Rutgers.
He's going to Rutgers,
Oh
big
my
boy.
God! If you lose
Nobody's trying to stop him. Nobody's trying to stop him. We want to losing. We want to losing. Nobody's trying to stop Joe Moorhead from leaving.
You get banned from. I don't know what we're going to ban you from.
Oh my lord.
Nobody's trying to stop him.
It is tough to be a step over school. Like anytime you get good, you lose your coach and go back to the bottom. That stinks.
I mean,
Well, and I mean, he's
Dan
a
Mullen
head-
was there for 9 years.
Well,
he
he's
had
a
9
head,
wonderful
Joe
years.
Moorhead's a head coach in the SEC, and he'd rather go coach at Rutgers.
I mean, probably the
Starkville,
path.
Piscataway.
Yeah, the path to winning a conference championship is easier at Rutgers than it
Yeah,
is
because
at
you're in a
Mississippi
shit
State.
conference.
No, Big Ten
stop.
East.
You think
I
that
would love
Rutgers is
for Ohio
an easier
State to
path
play
to a
Mississippi
conference
State.
championship than Mississippi State?
No,
Rutgers
I'm
is
just
the.
talking myself into a corner because all this Mississippi State hate. That's what I'm doing.
Well,
All right.
you haven't run your.
Do you want to know what you guys should bet on this?
What should we bet on?
Oh, I
Dan?
did say we talked about betting, and I said that Dan and Dave could figure out what we were going to bet on this game.
And Dave couldn't care less.
No,
Well,
he's losing in
he's in a
horses.
bad mood.
Yeah. Okay. If Mississippi State loses,
Yes.
Brandon has to wear Kayce's leggings for an entire month.
A month is extreme.
But
the
you
same
can get the
pair?
other side.
The same pair or just
Different. You can buy a different pair.
Okay.
What's hers?
If
This is
Wait, is this straight up or
spread,
against the
spread.
spread.
Okay.
Everybody loses by the way.
Texas A&M.
Just for
Well,
the
this
record.
one's even worse.
Phenomenal
If
legs.
Texas A&M loses, Kayce has to get Brandon Walker's haircut.
That's just never gonna.
That's the part where I said you'd choose death over that.
I would choose
But
death.
it would be hilarious if
Not
Kayce
only
came
would I
in
choose-
looking exactly like Brandon Walker.
Not only would I choose death, it would be a murder-suicide.
It's like
on
the
Brandon
Seinfeld
Walker
episode
first.
when Jerry dates himself.
What's the deal with decaf? How do they get the caffeine out of there? And then where does it go? That's a shame.
You guys can then look at each other and be like, unnecessary roughness.
It just never
What
happened.
about they have to go to, so if A&M wins, Brandon has to go to A&M's next home game. And
Without
if
me or with
misses-
me?
By yourself. Oh, you could go together.
How about this, Dave? How about this? If A&M wins, Brandon Walker has to, for an entire week, wear Ole Miss gear.
No. I will wear her leggings. I will not
You
wear
wear
Ole Miss
my
gear.
yoga pants?
I will wear her yoga pants. I'm not wearing Ole Miss gear. No.
Okay. What about wearing a Yell Leader costume, the milkman costume, as you would say? You have to wear that for a week.
Oh, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, you have to wear
I
that
would
for
do
a
that.
week.
I would not wear Ole Miss.
Okay, then what do you have to wear for
Well,
a
I
week?
don't know. This is I just was throwing out an idea. What do you think I should have to do?
He's the idea guy here.
I mean, I'm not cutting
Even though
my
he
hair.
was a coward and wouldn't do it with Ev.
Well, we don't have a college podcast together.
That's a good point.
So,
That's a good point.
and we will decide
You
something.
broke on the college football show together.
Yeah, we don't have a
Well,
college
but we have a
podcast
podcast
together.
where you
you
tell me
guys
to
are literally
submit
the
all the
college
time.
football people. Ev and I just went to universities that are better
What
than both
about
yours.
His brain has
what
just been
about like I got rejected at we get a T-shirt. I got rejected at Texas, so I went to Texas A&M for a week.
Yes.
I didn't get
Or a
rejected
teacher
at
says
Texas.
Texas A&M, where fun goes to die.
Texas A&M's biggest rival is fun. Is one
Yeah,
of the things
Texas
too.
A&M, where
That's
fun
too
goes to
basic.
die. Texas A&M not having fun since 1905.
It's
Just
gotta
Texas
be-
gear.
It's
Texas,
got to be
but
something.
that doesn't hurt you as much as
No,
Yeah,
it's
that
got,
doesn't
it's,
hurt,
it's
yeah.
got to be something Texas greater than.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, like a safety school. Like A&M's a safety school
Well, it's
for
just not true.
Texas.
It's just
Okay.
not true. But.
Well, maybe
But
you know
it
what?
is.
We'll make 5. In case you should have to wear 5 different shirts that you and I
Okay, yeah,
design.
Okay,
that's fine.
All right.
I
What
agree
am
with
I
that.
doing?
The milkman costume
The Yell Leader costume.
for an entire week.
All right, fine.
How are we
Deal.
going to get that?
So it's the
Oh, we can
spread is
get it.
what?
Don't
10?
worry.
10 and a half?
10 and a half.
10 and a half. Done.
This
Done.
stinks.
Okay. That's great though, because at least one of the days will be.
I don't believe Mississippi State's going to.
Well, you shouldn't have agreed to the bet then. That's your
Have
bad.
some school pride.
We need to order the costume, by the way, today.
Okay.
Because Monday needs to be the day.
No,
Yeah.
no,
It needs
no.
to be next week.
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Can't order it today because there's no guarantee Mississippi State's going to lose
But we'll
this.
just have
Brandon,
it
we
just
can
in
fucking
case.
afford to order a costume and not use it.
Brandon, we take
Come
private
on,
jets
man.
everywhere. You don't think
I
we
ordered
can?
a Hugh Freeze costume right after week 1. I haven't used it yet.
What?
It's a hospital gown and a gurney.
Wow, what a great costume. People will
It's gonna
definitely be like,
fun.
there's you
It
free.
took too long.
No.
It took too long.
Yeah.
Can he go
Hospital
as
gown.
an A&M Yell Leader for Halloween too? Can we add that on? Because
Well,
Halloween
next
is
week's
next week.
Halloween,
Right.
yes.
I
You
don't.
have to go
The
trick or
person who
treating in
loses
it.
his bet will have to wear this for an entire week next week. And Dave and I will design the shirts and we'll have
Okay.
Welker make them and they'll be here on Monday.
All right.
And you will be wearing a milkman costume on Monday.
You're gonna ring your
For
cowboy
an
before we
entire
move on?
week. You can get out of the milkman costume at any point by wearing 1 day of Ole Miss gear.
Oh, Yell Leader costume for
Not,
a week or
not
one?
on the air?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can't. That's too fucking
Ole
easy.
Miss
You can't cop
jumpsuit.
out.
When did you get here?
Full jumpsuit.
All right, we'll
love it.
discuss this. PointsBet also has the Barstool's first touchdown promo. Place a $100 money line bet on any of the select NCAA games, and if your team just scores the first touchdown of the game, you win, even if your team goes on to lose. Let's move on to the Phillips Norelco top 10s. Phillips Norelco has the most innovative electric grooming tools to help you do what feels right. Dave, let's start with you.
So mine's right on here. LSU won. Most impressive resume. Ohio State. If I was betting, I think they're the best team in the country. I am betting. I have them to win the national championship. Then Bama, Oklahoma, Clemson, Penn State, Baylor undefeated. I think Baylor. They went in. Impressive win on the road at Oklahoma State. They haven't lost. Then Florida, ND, Georgia. Pretty outside Baylor, I guess, but again, power conference undefeated. I don't know how you have them in there.
You have Notre Dame ahead of Georgia?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. Well, because they were on the road, it's a close game, and
Yeah.
no loss is way worse for Georgia.
Okay. Okay.
Dan?
All right. Okay, I have LSU, Bama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Clemson, pretty much the same. Penn State, Oregon,
Minus Baylor.
Georgia, Notre Dame.
Who do you have in instead of Baylor? Florida?
Yeah, I guess so. I should have thought that Baylor's a good pick, Dave. I should have. They've been impressive, and I think that'll be a good game. Baylor versus Oklahoma coming up.
Like to point out that both of you bitched at me for not having Auburn in my top 10, and neither of you had Auburn in your top 10. My top 10 has LSU number 1.
You keep saying it. I have not bitched at you.
He did. Okay, you're right. You bitched at me. You did not have Auburn in your
Fair.
top 10. All right, LSU number 1. I moved Alabama down because I don't think they've looked good enough. Ohio State's look better
To
than anybody.
4?
Yeah, to 4.
App State, get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to explain that.
Well,
There's no
explain
point
yourself.
in doing this.
Can I explain this?
Yeah.
App State is a team that's never going to be in the top 10, but they are undefeated.
Oh, you're doing like the Kirk Herbstreit.
They're going to win the
like,
New Year's Six. They're going to win the New Year's Six bowl.
So you have them ahead of Baylor.
They're going to win the New Year's Six bowl.
How do you have them ahead of
I just
Baylor?
wanted to give them a shout out for 1 week. Can I give them a shout out for 1 week?
He has them ahead of Georgia.
Can I give the Mountaineers a shout out for 1 week?
Yeah, you're doing the Kirk Herbstreit. Like,
I'm giving a shout out.
You're pandering? I thought you
we're
didn't
going to go to North
pander.
Dakota State next year.
You guys had Kentucky in your top 10 this year. You had number 1 Michigan, number 2 Wisconsin. We don't pander on the show.
Why are we pandering to App State? Who
Because
cares?
I want to give them a little credit.
For what reason?
You can give them credit without ruining your top 10 and ruining everything.
I didn't ruin anything. I didn't ruin anything.
Ruin the show.
Credit to you, App State. Nobody's paying attention, but you're doing great.
Brandon is. Now, do you think App State people even want this?
No.
No.
I think
For a fact, so you think that
Walker gave us this pity top 10 vote.
Baylor did beat Iowa State too.
Yes.
Yeah. So they beat Iowa State. They just won at Oklahoma State. They're
And they're
undefeated. You got App State.
They're in a
ahead of
Power
them.
5 conference.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're good. Nice.
Big Ev, what's yours?
All right, well, Ohio State and LSU, I think, have by far been the best 2 teams in the country. I'm going Bama, Clemson, Penn State, Oklahoma, Florida, Notre Dame.
Where's App State?
They're close off.
So what for you, Big F? What's Baylor have to do to get on there?
You're killing people about Baylor.
I think it's a fair oversight. I just had
Big Ev,
Baylor's not a top 10 team.
Big Ev,
if you're undefeated, you should earn respect.
Big Ev, you just blew that moment.
You just don't think that?
No, you blew that moment because you could have said, "I don't respect Baylor because I don't respect universities that shield crimes against women."
Yeah, you can do that.
I was gonna. He should have done it because Ohio
but
State,
that was
but that's
tossing
fine.
you guys the alley-oop to dunk on me.
There you go.
Oh.
Then I
looking right
have
now.
Auburn ahead of Oregon just out of principle. They beat them, but I think Oregon's clearly the best team in the Pac-12, and they maybe can make a run down the stretch.
All right, here's my top 10, and I actually do not recognize Baylor as a program because I hate the Bryles.
There you go.
I hate what they did. Waco stinks. There are some nice people that go to Baylor, and I understand that what they
That
have
was
there
a
is
quick
not-
retract.
No,
Yeah,
they're
that
good.
was
They're good
quick.
people that go to Baylor. That doesn't mean their football program.
Stand on your principles, Kayce.
I am standing. I
There were
fucking
many
hate
good
them.
Germans.
No, don't throw that. You
I
can't.
mean, that's
no,
the same reason.
I have friends. I have friends who went to Baylor who are good people. Baylor, the school, not a good school.
I mean, they destroyed Oklahoma State last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was,
they did.
that was
Yes,
disappointing.
they did.
So you got, I mean, the facts are, I'm looking at it, everyone's just forgot them, but anybody who doesn't have their top 10 is just not paying any attention.
No, I just don't recognize them as a
Yeah,
program.
or you forgot them. They, I mean,
Well,
they
no, I
beat
mean,
Texas Tech,
you
they
forgot
beat Penn
Ohio State every
I didn't
week
forget
last
it.
year.
That was an
I-
intentional move.
And I hate Baylor.
I
I mean,
have
I
a
do
hard
this
time
on.
believing.
Brandon,
All
are you
of
going to stand
guys
up for me
forgot
for
Baylor.
once?
I forgot Baylor.
People,
Probably not. I probably wasn't
people
one.
at Florida State
Oversight.
hate me because I talk shit about Kendall Bryles, who's at Florida State now, because I hate Baylor so much.
I don't think that's not why they're in your top 10.
That I
I think
100%
you just-
that's why they're in the
I
top
think
10.
this entire group forgot them.
I didn't
except me.
forget them. I would have them like 11
I
or
hate them.
12. I put App State in there as a gimmick, but they'd have to be better than
Thank you
Georgia.
for
They'd have to
admitting.
be better than Auburn. They'd have to be better than
App-
Oregon. It's
It's-
tough to get in the top 10 right now.
Thank
Well,
you for
except that you
admitting
put
you
App
ruined the
State.
show.
Here's my top 10. It's pretty self-explanatory. No Baylor, but I mean, Ohio State is the best team in the country. I finally moved them ahead of
First place in the
Alabama.
Big 12, we don't get them in the top 10.
No,
Dave,
Oklahoma
Dave, what
is
team,
first
what
place in
team
the Big
between
12.
6 and 10 do you replace? Which
Oklahoma.
team from 6 and 10 do you replace with Baylor?
Florida, Georgia.
Why Florida?
Georgia. South Carolina.
Why Florida?
Georgia stinks.
Because Florida has a loss.
Florida beat Auburn. Florida has a good win.
Good win, winning by 20. All right, Baylor beat Iowa State.
Who's
top
not that
25
good.
team. Top
I like
25
Iowa
team.
State.
I don't-
Top 25 team.
Oklahoma's winning the Big
and
12, it
they
doesn't
beat
matter.
Texas Tech and Baylor. I mean,
Texas
Oklahoma
Tech
State.
stinks, Dave.
And all-
Oklahoma's.
You're getting really close to it.
He's said it multiple times. Oklahoma is the best team in the Big 12, and it's just not close.
Why are you hollering at me?
I think Oklahoma's better than Baylor, but I mean, you can't just.
Well, you just said they were the number
Yeah, I
one
don't
team
know
in the
if
Big
I
12.
agree with that.
on their side of the division, they are.
They don't have divisions in the
Then
Big
why
12.
does it say right here?
Because they're tied.
All right,
because they
so
haven't
that's
lost.
first.
Oklahoma's the
Tied
best.
for first.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's the best team in the Big 12.
That'll
We'll
be
I
see.
mean, you're not like.
I mean, they
doing
might
rocket
be.
science
They
here.
might be.
Huh?
They might be the best team in the Big 12. They probably are, but they beat Texas by 7.
You
Like
thought
Oklahoma's
Texas
not.
was going to beat Oklahoma. And
I
they
did, but
barely beat
Oklahoma's not
Kansas
exactly
last week.
lapping the field. I mean, Oklahoma is
Yes,
probably
they-
going to be the best team, probably going to
You
win
hate
it,
Jalen
but
Hurts, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You do hate Jalen.
so we're just all arguing in circles. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, we're
much.
just-
Oklahoma,
Yes.
Oklahoma
Welcome to the
travels
show,
to
dude.
Baylor
And
on
you?
November 16th. We'll see. Baylor's still
We'll see.
undefeated. I didn't think they're good. Listen, I watch games with my eyes. You gotta give them credit. Some people don't do it. I do. Sorry, I give credit where credit's due.
I can't give credit where credit's due when they have a shitty program like they did under the Bryles. How come you can do it to Ohio State and I can't do it to Baylor?
Well, you've never mentioned that before.
I have every single
Well,
week
she
on our
mentions
podcast.
it all the
I
time.
haven't
Thank
heard
you.
it once.
Well, thanks
You
for
should
listening.
listen.
Yeah.
Baylor?
Our podcast. Every
I have
literally
listened.
every
In
single
the
week I
car.
say it.
I don't listen.
No, on the car.
We did listen.
We listened.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You were forced to, but
Well, but we listened.
We changed it.
I was
but we
almost
listened.
throwing up
you
the
didn't
whole
change
time.
it. You
Yes, we
listened the whole
listened.
time.
All right, well, that is the Barstool College Football Show, and I hope you get to wear a milkman costume.
Oh,
Yell leader.
so excited.
Yell leader costume, but
She's
to these
getting
guys.
off easy here. Just t-shirts?
Wow.
What do you want
We
me
don't
to
know
do?
what we're gonna put on it. You
Yeah, I mean, they
decide
can put
one of
whatever
them.
they want on it.
I get one of them?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.